Hi, I'm Kitty Feldy, and I am the host and the executive producer and the creator of the Book Club for Kids podcast. It's a 20-minute free show, and it's designed to turn reluctant readers into lifelong book lovers. But the show is also a way for us to listen to what I think are the all too rarely heard voices of tweens, and using books as a jumping off place so that they can talk about their fears and their dreams for the future. And I think the future is what the podcast is all about, because what are we going to do if we don't have a generation that can read and write? And that's what we're using the podcast to do. We're using technology as a tool for literacy, to get those noses out from looking at the phone and using it to listen and to discover a book that they hear about and to get excited about it and create a habit of reading, which we hope will last a lifetime. The show itself is me sitting down with a group of kids in the school library or at a book festival, and we discuss the book of the month or the week or whatever we have. And those conversations start with the book and they go on to talk about their life, their concerns about safety. We had one group that told me, I bet you didn't know dystopian novels are actually very hopeful. And I didn't quite get where they were going with that. I asked, and they said, well, it's because the lead character's a girl and she's strong and all the boys treat her with respect, which I assume the 7th grade boys they went to school with did not. One of my favorite experiences was going into a DC 5th grade library, and the librarian had to literally pluck these 5 boys off the walls. They were just jumping all over the place. But once we sat down and started talking about Kwame Alexander's book, The Crossover, it's about brothers in basketball, and these boys started sharing their own stories of their own relationships with their siblings. And there were tears. They were talking about crying when the mean older sister went off to college and they didn't understand why. And at the end of the episode, they broke into song, completely a cappella, completely unexpected. Now you gotta tell me that literature doesn't have any power. I mean, there it was right in front of me. And that gets back to the why we're doing this. It's to create a future of readers and writers so that whatever technology is thrown their way in the future, we're gonna need people who can read and write. And the only way that's gonna happen is if these kids fall in love with books. And not just with books, not just the nonfiction, but also the idea of story, so that they can dream about the future and feel happy about the future because they do know this idea about, that you're creating magic out of nothing. And that's what books do. And I'm Kitty Feldy. Thanks for listening.